Matrix Technologies, your single source partner for engineering, construction, automation, and information.
One of the things that I was told at a very early age, even through college, was that the title engineer can really mean a lot of different things in a lot of different companies. And so, by saying that, you may think that you have an idea of what you're going to specialize in based on the classes you took in college, but when you get into the real world, there are far more different opportunities for you to take that to, and then in much more detail than what you maybe have been exposed to from the collegiate level. So for example, my background, I have a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology, and as part of that program, I studied at the University of Toledo, and so there was a handful of classes, probably 3 or 4, that specifically were into automation and dealing with PLCs and control panels, which is really where I focus today. But we had so much more exposure to different types of engineering that you could take any one of those classes and really then make a career out of it. I'm Tony Ferguson. My current position here at Matrix, I serve as our Industry Solutions Manager, specifically tied to the feed and grain industry. I've been with Matrix now going on, actually since 2011, and excited to be here today to talk a little bit more about the grain industry. So specifically in the grain industry, one of the big items that is stressed is manpower, right? So as the jobs continue to grow, it's harder and harder to find people to actually fill these seats competitive. So what that is pushing in the industry is a lot more systems have to be automated so that they can actually be standalone facilities where, if they're required to run the operations with less employees, they have to be able to run it safely and effectively and the way that they are able to break through that challenge is through automating, whether it be automating grain receiving or just automating more of their process. That's been a big theme to allow them to do more with less employees at the physical facility. As job markets, continue to change, and right now, unemployment rates are very low, meaning that there's not a large piece of the workforce that's actually looking for work. This is going to continue to be an issue. So what that will drive is that'll drive manufacturing to come up with standards on how to create these automated systems. We're already seeing it a lot with our partners today where they are creating, they take on one project at one facility sort of as a pilot, but then once that's actually a proven system and they're able to effectively work through it, they then deploy those at other facilities. So we do really see automation and continuing to improve operations of facilities being a big key part of this. We're also seeing a big push in replacing older facilities, right? So where maybe some older facilities required more manual labor to actually help them out on a day-to-day basis, we're actually seeing them replace that with maybe a more modernized system that allows them to take advantage of technology, but then also new equipment, new storage capacity, so that they can actually then work more effectively without having the manual labor be maybe some of the drawback in their day-to-day operations. We've been seeing alternate energy be a big theme. Sustainability is almost in all of our clients' portfolio. They want to find better ways to be more cost-effective in how they use their utilities, whether it be compressed air, natural gas, electricity is a big one, and water reuse. But on the electricity side, there's a lot of push right now for solar. It's really big in the industry just because a lot of the feeding grain customers, they have very large properties just due to kind of how they have to lay out their track and truck traffic on their facilities. But they're actually now utilizing that land to put in solar panels, so they can actually utilize the land to then create solar, which is clean energy, but then also help offset their energy costs, which is helping them be sustainable with the environment. The other trend too we've actually seen, which is kind of unique, is biomass, burning. So a lot of facilities that handle grain, they have to dry the grain before they process it and store it. And so as part of that, they're looking at alternate fuel sources for grain dryers. And so beyond natural gas, which is a real common theme, 30, 40, 50 years ago, coal was the big pusher. Then it went to some types of fuel oil. Kerosene was one of them. There's been multiple others. Natural gas is really one of the major themes today. But then beyond that, we've seen biomass burning, so they can burn, whether it be food waste or any type of clean waste that's out there. So they're finding ways to utilize, a different stream to then power their facilities, which is kind of neat. It's really kind of trending, specifically out west where they have a lot of facilities that don't maybe have access to a lot of power, and so that's an alternate fuel source that they can utilize. Which oftentimes they have on site, whether it be corn cobs or some other types of materials that are on site as kind of like a byproduct that they can then use as fuel for their grain dryers. So pretty neat. The best way to overcome these challenges with the ebbs and the flows is to really just to learn the cycle of our customers and learn the cycle of the projects, right? So doing this now for the amount of time that I have, you kind of have an idea of how long certain types of projects will take, from the purchasing of the equipment to actually doing the design to then also the installation. And so with proper planning, we can actually look at scheduling that. So if we know the construction life cycle and we know the engineering life cycle, we can actually put that into a chart to kind of understand, hey, if you're looking to do this project, we suggest you start now to get it installed in 2 years from this. Had the, ability to work on an opportunity where a client had an event happen at their facility. They had sort of a process piece that it kind of failed and it started a fire, which caused a lot of damages at the facility. And so it was kind of a really, really great experience to work through, just because, coming from the engineering world, these are the things that you talk about, kind of never happening, or you plan to never really have to get into some of these things. And so to have it happen at a facility that I performed work at was kind of eye-opening, just as far as like, hey, it can happen anywhere. And so just really trying to learn where we could kind of roll up our sleeves and be part of the team to really kind of help remediate the situation. And so that's exactly what we did. So we had a team of, I think it was at max capacity, I think we had a team of 10 people on site to really kind of help walk through. Unfortunately, this was in a process area where the client did not have a lot of documentation. And so, there wasn't a lot to go back to the books and say, okay, how was this system put in originally that we can essentially copy it and put it back together. It was more of a, hey, assess the situation of how it is today and look at it, try to make the best judgment on how the system functioned properly in the first place. And then really, which was part of the neat thing about it was, by building it back and putting it all back together, we were able to make some recommendations which actually improved the process rate. And so that was really a piece of it that I took away at the end was, hey, yes, events do happen. They're not planned for, but if you get a group of people that are all set to the goal at the end of getting things back into operations, you can really get a great team involved to help get to the end goal, which is really just allowing the facility to get back into operations. Another example would be we had a client show up to us. They came to what's called the Jeeps Exchange. So I belong to a professional organization called Jeeps. It's the Grain Elevator and Processing Society. And as part of that, they have a yearly expo that they allow vendors to come and present. And it's a great opportunity if you're not already a member to become a member. But we had a customer kind of stop by our booth asking us to solve a unique issue. They were looking for a weight option to weigh their hopper before loading out a truck. And so we were able to kind of come up with a custom solution that fit their application specifically for their facility. It was kind of unique in the fact that we're really only providing some of our services. Oftentimes that happens in our consulting. We may not provide all of the engineering disciplines, but we were able to provide the structural, which was a big part of supporting the silo and supporting the waste cells that went in. But then beyond that, we were also able to kind of give them a design from the mechanical standpoint and then also from the automation standpoint to be able to automate the system. So it's kind of a unique opportunity. We got really good praise from the clients and are excited to work on some new product opportunities with them here in the future. Another way that we stay active with industry trends is really listening to our clients. We typically try to get either quarterly or biannual or annual meetings set up with them and really just talk about what they're investing their time in. Because often, those trends are happening with not just them, but all their clients in the industry. And so it's really good to kind of stay up to date with our partners, our clients, the folks that we collaborate and work with, because they are also trying to stay active and stay up to date and stay modern to be able to attract good workforce, but then just for them, to stay thriving in their industry to be able to support their end users as well.
Matrix Technologies is a single source solution for multidiscipline engineering, construction, systems integration, and digital transformation needs.